Hey, remember this awesome SUV that, well, this is a picture actually that I took at CES, and this was presented as a concept IMX car from Nissan, and they've had it for a while, I think since October, November last year, and they were very careful to say that this is just a concept, this is what the future of Nissan looks like. But now it looks like they might be going into production with this one, which is cool. Also, a few other news to talk about. Another sighting for semi-truck. Pricing is announced for Audie e-tron. So let's get going and talk about it all in the next 10 minutes.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric.
All right, so you know, this is first of all, I love the way this car looks. Absolutely love the way this car looks. I don't know how close they actually obviously gonna get to this look once they go to production, but you know, and if you want to see my video from CES, that's on my channel. Just type in Nissan CES in search, and it should pop up. And you know, as a matter of fact, I think I have it somewhere here. So yeah, so this is me reporting at CES. As you can see, that concept is right behind me. They're not giving too many details, and they didn't even say when it's going to happen, but the rumors are 2020. So in a couple of years, you know, they're promising pretty cool range, but I really don't want to talk about specs just yet because everyone's promising over 300 miles right now, and it's really usually ending up being a little bit, not a little bit, sometimes more, you know, less than that. But just given what we know about Nissan's abilities right now with the Nissan Leaf, the new Leaf having the, so see, that's pretty cool. The new Nissan Leaf coming up with the 225 mile range, you know, and this is going to be a bit of a heavier car. So I would say that would probably about 220 to 250, I would say would be, you know, it would need to be probably something like that. So let's see, a lot of you guys are talking about Kona in the chat room, and it is something that I'm actually looking at as far as, and also Kia Niro V. I think Kia Niro V is actually a better looking car, but yeah, this is definitely going to be a competitor to that. Julio in the chat room says Nissan is the only company I respect on EV base besides Tesla. You know, I do have to give them credit for being the very first, as much as I hate the first generation Nissan Leaf for many reasons, but they were the first company, well, this time around, to launch their all-electric car, and at that time it wasn't mandated, it wasn't like compliance car or anything like that. They were genuinely, it looked like we're trying to get into this new technology, so kudos to them. And you know, there's still, Nissan Leaf is still the most sold car in the world, electric car in the world, till this day. So that's I think that's pretty cool. And it's, I mean, again, anybody who's trying to pioneer anything is obviously going to be my hero. So all right, well, let's move on to the next one, which is a semi-truck. But before that, let me remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla, and we have a discount code that they gave specifically to our community. You can dive into that right in the description of this video. Okay, so we've seen a lot of sighting of the Tesla semi-truck, and there's another one, but this time around it's been taking where it looked like it was broken down, right? And as you can see that this is one of the tweets from one of the truck Twitter accounts, the truck lovers, right? And there are actually some pretty harsh ones that other people posted, and basically they were just kind of making fun of it, haha, and you know, it broke down, look at the future and stuff like that. But Tesla is saying that they were just actually pulled over to the side of the road to you know, do some diagnostics. Again, if that's true, awful PR once again, Tesla, because you've seen what happened when your Roadster was pulled down to the side of the road. Everybody thought it was broken down. So next time you want to pull over, why don't you find a place where it doesn't look like it broke down, right? So again, if it's true that Tesla is saying that it was just fine and they're just doing tests, pull over somewhere else, because that doesn't look good for you. Even though, if you know, by the way, this is a prototype. If anything, it's a prototype that's allowed to break down or already whatever. So I'm really I'm not concerned, but I just kind of gave a bunch of people a way to troll this on Twitter, of course. well, Cody in the chat room is going back to the topic of the Nissan, and he says that lack of thermal management in the Nissan packs is an issue for me. Well, you're gonna have to explain that because they've gotten much better at it. Because I mean, the issue was in a few years ago. They are claiming it, and I haven't heard any complaints from the latest, even the first generation latest Nissan Leafs, but this coming year they're actually coming out with a thermal management system. So you know, it definitely is not going to be an issue anymore. Physics in the chat room says, for a guy who tweets a lot, Elon could have posted something before the images get out. Yeah, but you know what, why not avoid those images? Why avoid this image altogether? You know, because it's possible. You can just pull up to some truck stop. How about truck stop? Is that a crazy idea? Just that nobody will say a word, right? If anything, people will spot it there. I'm like, oh look, it's among its peers of other semi trucks. How cool, you know? So it's yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Ben says you never seen diesel trucks pull over. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, next story. Let's move on. By the way, if you guys haven't done this already, please give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. All right, so they, as you know, Audie e-tron has been unveiled. Well, sort of, right? But they are finally announcing the pricing for this. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised because they're basically looking at starting at $100,000 US in Europe. And it is within what Tesla has. I mean, it's definitely cheaper than, you know, P100D Tesla, but it's you know, it's still within like sort of in the mid pack of that. But don't forget, Tesla Model X is just you know, has just a better car overall. Now this one's supposed to have 275-mile range, so that's not bad at all. But obviously no over-the-air updates. No, oh, did my video just freeze? Oh, there you go. And it's you know, doesn't have obviously supercharger network and stuff like that, though its parent company Volkswagen Group is investing in a few in Europe. But you know, it's just not as good of a car as the Model X, and I think also it's not as big. And so people, because they were saying that they, you know, because of the size compared to their own fleet, this is way above what people would pay for something like this if it was a gas car. So, you know, I appreciate the fact that they're trying to compete with the Tesla Model X. But as I said many times when we had that conversation with the Jaguar I-Pace, is that, you know, don't compete with a Tesla, because, you know, this market is still only 1%. Compete with the rest of the 99% of the market and try to get some people who want to buy a gas car, try to get them on your side. Now, of course, in the case of Audi and every other manufacturer except for Tesla, you know, they end up competing with their own customers, but that's okay. I mean, if you drag your customer from your own gas SUV all the way to your electric SUV, maybe that's not that bad. So I mean, I think it's just fine. Phil Bear says, I drove diesel trucks, semis, they break down all the time. Granted, yeah, and those weren't prototypes, right? With so many EVs coming out, says Edward, I truly wonder what the future brings for Africa, from which most of the materials are from. You know, it depends on materials. It depends what technology, you know, future holds for the technology of batteries, obviously, and electric cars. So, listen, any area like, you know, like for example, South America right now, you know, it has a lot of lithium, some of those countries, and obviously that's going to benefit them a lot. Tesla's already been there and trying to actually already secured some of their lithium supplies there. So it's going to affect the areas that have materials for the future, obviously positively. All right, another story I wanted to talk about is, you know, Ford. And you know, this is a company that's obviously sort of in the doghouse for all of us. They haven't done anything. I think they had a Ford Focus, all electric with a pathetic range, but you know, compliance car. But now they have, okay, so let's just first say they have committed $11 billion to electrifying their fleet, and also they are one of the investors of the Ionity network, which is, you know, going to be one of the largest, but one of the few fast charging networks in Europe that will rival Tesla's Tesla supercharging network, and so you see the video, the promotional video they just kind of had there. Hey Tony, how are you? Welcome. So so kudos to Ford for that. But now they're saying that they're going to produce very first all-electric SUV, and it's going to happen in 2020. They're claiming a lot of range. They, you know, again, I don't want to go and get bogged down with the specs that we don't really know. As a matter of fact, the picture that they've posted along with the story for the media release, for the press release, is this picture, and we don't even know if this is the all-electric one, because they're still going to do hybrids and obviously gas trucks. You know, I think when I forget, I think it was their CEO, when he was talking about it, he, you know, decided to troll Elon Musk once again on Tesla. Always think it's a bad idea, and said, well, we don't need to send this car in space for it to be famous. Well, if you know, we just had a story that I didn't cover because it was for Ford, had a humongous recall of like 1.3 million cars for a funny reason, because they're saying the wheel, and I mean like the steering wheel, can fall off or come really loose, and they already know of 2 incidents that it happened with, and so they're recalling all of that. And if you remember, I believe within the last couple of years they also had a recall when you know, the doors could fall off. I mean, you know, if you're a company that's making cars where the wheels and doors are literally coming off, you don't want to troll Tesla or really any rival at this point. So listen, good that Ford is going to move forward with this, but I would just kind of keep quiet and make sure that you just do your thing and try to catch up. All right, I just wanted to say thank you to all of my Patreons. If you want to contribute to the show, please do. It is in the description of the video, and I post some behind the scene footage and some of the bloopers and some of the special exclusive reports there and pictures and all that stuff. So thank you for those of you who are supporting me, and you can just go ahead and sign up yourself if you'd like. My latest post is my interview with my girlfriend there, as I was practicing for one of the events. So I know I also said that I was going to be in Sacramento tomorrow for the drag race, for the Tesla drag race and the meetup. Unfortunately, the weather is going to be raining, so we're not going to do that. We're going to postpone it, but the organizer of this event is going to be on my show tomorrow for the Saturday interview, as I'm trying to do every week. As a matter of fact, here's a schedule for a few others that are scheduled. I'm working on a few as well, and the next week I have James Cook, which I'm really excited about. So let's get really quickly to the comment of the day, because it's a good one, I think. And this one comes from Morgan, and he quotes, which he says he says Business Insider, but really this is a Business Insider quoting Elon. And we were talking, remember, we're talking about every time Tesla does something a little bit, you know, like we were talking about the report, CNBC report, everybody jumps on Tesla doing something, you know, maybe wrong, or you know, something comes up that's not necessarily positive, and nobody ever compares it, saying, well, but the gas cars have the same problem. We just talked about the Tesla semi-truck breaking down on the side of the road, and everyone's, you know, all the other truckers saying like, oh my god, you know, like, but their trucks break down more often, I would say. Anyway, so this quote is from Elon Musk. He says Americans drive about 3 trillion miles per year, according to the Department of Transportation. That equates to 1 vehicle fire for every 20 million miles driven, compared to 1 fire in over 100 miles for Tesla. Now, Inside EVs, I believe, crunched some numbers as well, and they came to the same conclusion that basically you're more likely to have your car catch on fire if you're in any gas car rather than a Tesla. As a matter of fact, there are over 200 people die in car fires every year. I believe this is United States alone, and no one ever died in a Tesla fire. As a matter of fact, we haven't had one in many years, I believe. So rain in California, yes, Ben, it's been kind of raining here, so it's yeah, but we'll get our sunshine back. You know, it's on order. It's just back order. That's all. Broman says, agreed, it will be a while, but I don't care. I'm not waiting by my car for an hour. Okay, you guys are talking between each other. Hello from Norway. Hi, how are you? Bjarni Kola. So 400 across Europe isn't enough. DRK, she's talking about the Ionity network, but it's a great for the first year. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how many cars are going to be out there, right? But also don't forget there are 3 other networks that are kind of doing the same. So that just might be enough. and I'm sure they'll build more, you know, from then. Also depends how many stalls in each, but they're claiming to be 6. All right, guys. So tomorrow, come back and join me for the interview with Eli, who is the organizer and a founder of My Tesla Adventure Club. We'll have a good time. We'll talk about drag racing, Teslas, and all that cool stuff. And of course, on Sunday we'll just hang out and recap the week and everything that's happened, and of course we'll just talk, and I'll answer your questions, concerns, and so forth. Other than that, guys, this is pretty much it. Hope you have a great the rest of the day, and see you tomorrow, and remember to stay charged.